Hi everybody, welcome to the home automation server. Here is the block diagram in front. I also have a very quick prototype basically done here. The as you see, basically the hardware is fairly simple with a simple 16 by 2 LCD and a couple of switches, a thermistor and an LED. The main core concept of this project is basically the embedded web server. The user basically switching, accessing the web page remotely, and then they can read the temperature of the temperature sensor, or they can control an LED basically. I have a brief schematic here basically, which is for the simple hardware. And if I go into the core concept, which is the embedded web server, I've got different layers here basically. I've got a HTTP layer where the user accesses a web page, and the TCP layer, IP layer, and then rather than using the standard MAC, I'm using a simple SLIP layer, which works as a link layer here. And my physical layer was not Ethernet, rather I'm using a RS-232, which is basically the LPC114 on the LPC Expresso board has a UART, and I'm using that as well, which is connected to my little RS-232 to TTL converter board. And then I hooked it the other end to the PC. So when the user, I also have another simple connection basically for the ping, and so far I managed to work it up to the ping. So you establish the connection between the PC, basically, which is the client, and then the server, which is the LPC Expresso board. When the user pings, basically, the PC send the data, a 32-byte data to the icmp layer, and then through the IP layer, and then SLIP, and then through the hardware layer, and then received by this LPC 114, and then it has to basically process the data and then send everything back into there. So as a quick little run, I'll just run this program. It's running now. So I have a simple connection programmed as a slip. There goes something called slip test. So if I just run this connection, I should establish a link here. Should see probably the slip test is now connected at 19.2 baud rate. So this basically tells both the embedded web server and the PC communicate together at the moment. They're on a connection. You can always check basically how much is the data going on, status. So basically it's been sending the data. Embedded web server didn't receive anything because there is no ping packet at the moment, but we can send also if we go to the command prompt, if I do an ipconfig, so you can see clearly at the moment there are two adapters there basically. One there for this is the PPP adapter at the moment. The other one is disconnected, which is my usual LAN was disconnected because this is connected. So you can see 172.16.1.2, which is the ID of this computer, and the server has 172.16.1.1. So if I just do a ping 172.16.1.1, I should be sending the data. If I just disconnect this connection quickly, and I can basically emulate that ping using a simple HTML terminal editor, program to the required baud rate 19.2, and then simply say connect as connected, and then click on debug. It's debugging, and then captured basically the data what the PC send in the event of a ping. This is the data that it sends, and it wraps it up in between a slip packets. So if I send the same data, it's ready for the debug. There you go. So I start it up, it just prints my name as a hello. So now I just send a string called client, ENT, and then it replies back as a client server. Sorry, I got it wrong. CLIENT. So I'm sending as a client, and it replied back with the client server. That tells me that they both are connected together. And then I send the start byte, which is C0, and then my usual data at the end, C0. This is briefly, so that's how this is working. Ping data is not there yet. So I captured basically the ping data here, and this is what I'm sending. So when I send a ping, PC is sending all this data. So this is what I exactly sending. I hope you understand basically some concepts of the my embedded web server for the remote home automation project. So I hope you all enjoy this little video. Thank you. Thanks for watching.